There we go. There we go. Good. Hi. Yes. Yeah, don't be afraid to show yourself. All right. Yes, if you're on an iPhone, there are visuals because there is a PowerPoint presentation, right? Me kind of change my position, get comfortable here. Good. Hey, yeah. So I hope everybody is feeling fit and good on this nice sort of sunny afternoon. Got a little hot in the middle of the day. Great. Okay. Well, why don't I go ahead with you two? I'll start with Jessica, who has Rocky,
Yep.
who is a German Shepherd mix, right?
Yes.
Your old male, always a handful, um, right? So I have three joining, and so anyway, um, tell me a little bit about what your challenges are with Rocky. What does it look like, you know, when he's reactive?
Yeah, so I got him the Memorial Day weekend, so like 6 weeks ago. Um, what it looks like is we're typically on a walk on leash. And if he sees a squirrel, he just full steam ahead. Um,
Yep.
Cats, he was kind of curious about, and now he sort of starts barking and might lunge. And then dogs, I don't really approach dogs on leash. I usually go to the other side of the street,
Good.
or try to kind of avoid, but he'll stare, and then depending on the dog, will start to bark and maybe move towards them or lunge a little bit. And it seems to be like around 20-25 feet. But some dogs he's totally fine with. I think it's more of like if they keep an eye contact. And I haven't heard a growl, but he's definitely reactive. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that we all face is, you know, in an ideal world, everybody would know not to let their dogs stare at other dogs
Yeah.
or stretch out to the end of the leash and stare. That is a formula for setting off dogs. Okay. Even the nicest dogs on earth, if you know, dogs looking at them like this,
Sure.
they're liable to react to it. Has he been off leash?
Yes.
Dogs?
Yeah. I've taken him off leash on I don't take him to smaller dog parks, but like bigger open areas, and he's pretty good. Um, he's playful. He gets pretty excited quickly if he starts to ramp up a lot. He plays a little too rough, or he'll start to do like he'll it looks like hurting to me, but I'm not really sure. He'll just kind of try and circle around and nip at ankles of the other dogs, and that's I
That's not
usually remove him
good.
at that point.
Yeah.
But he seems to be more relaxed off leash. Um, Trying to think if there's,
Well, that's a typical pattern. The dogs
yeah,
are good off leash. I have one really excellent off leash. She could, you know, she meets other dogs and then ignores them and wants to just play with her ball. Um, and me, the ball launcher. But you know, walking down the street on leash, I have to manage her the whole time,
yeah,
and that's really typical.
yeah,
Although I'm hoping to get it completely resolved. Um, it takes a really long time and a concerted effort to get
yeah,
it completely resolved. And one of the things we want to face when
yeah,
we have a reactive dog is that we're going to be managing them, okay? Regardless, because that behavior's there and
yeah,
it's going to get triggered. You can start desensitizing them to triggers, but they're still it's still there and you're
yeah,
still going to be managing.
yeah.
Okay, so actually, Nathaniel, tell me a little bit about Puck.
Yes. Well, Puck is 10 and a half months. He's an English cream retriever. And he actually has gotten far, I won't say mellow, but more more approaching mellow over the last month or so, month and a half. We just went out in terms of off leash a lot, but never. I'm not comfortable with the recall, and so we don't go off leash unless we're in a dog park. And we usually go to the Alameda Dog Park, which is a huge facility, all sand, right there on the bay. And we'll go there a couple times a week. He plays. Uh, he's not the aggressive one. He is the submissive one. He'll play a lot with other dogs, and sometimes he'll just simply sit down and enjoy the expanse and wander around. More generally, even today, for instance, out walking, and we're just coming back from a walk. He doesn't. 4 months ago, 5 months ago, he'd be lunging. He's not lunging now. He may bark, but usually he'll look, and if we're on the same sidewalk approaching each other, he'll want to play. If he barks because he wants to play.
Yeah.
He's not an aggressive dog at all, but he will react, but he'll react usually in a very positive way. Cats, he's starting to learn he likes to chase.
Yes. Well, he's an adolescent. Okay, let me go on to Eli, who has joined us with Butter, who is, you have a smallish dog, right?
That's
Cavalier
right.
mix?
Yeah, he's over here. Do you guys want to see him?
Yeah, we'll see him.
Okay. He's wearing a cone right now because he got a scratch that he keeps on licking, but this is Butter.
Yes. Your mix is Bighorn? Cavalier?
He's a King Charles Cavalier mixed with Bichon.
Bichon. Somehow it came out Bighorn. Maybe auto spell. Okay,
Yeah.
because he looks like a Bichon. Okay, great. Yes. And tell us what he does. Why you're exploring this challenge.
So basically, he's very reactive to any other dog. He's great with people, but any other dog that except like, we have one other pet at our house, that it's basically his sibling that he's been with since we got them, so he's fine with her. But any stranger dog, he will bark at them, and when we're out on a walk, we have to keep him on a really short leash because he'll lunge and bark at them. And then also when he's home, just hanging out in the living room, he'll look out the window and bark at the dogs that are passing by, and
Okay.
he just doesn't stop. And he'll also bark at squirrels in our backyard, which is kind of funny because the squirrel has learned to kind of mess with him. The squirrel will come find him, and the squirrel will make noise at him, like squirrel noises, chittering, and then just kind of like rile him up. The squirrel thinks it's funny, I think.
Yeah, squirrels can be teasing. In fact, I just read an article where in Yosemite they're starting to have a lot of squirrels biting people.
Oh my gosh.
Aggressive squirrels. Anyway, so yeah, so we got two dogs. It looks like that primarily want dogs to stay away when they're on leash, and another one that says, "I just want to be with you." Okay, so and all of those are legitimate reasons and normal behavior for your dog. So I'm gonna cut to the share to the PowerPoint so we can start going through the topics. I just want to be sure that you can ask questions anytime. And what we're going to go through is looking at a lot of the reasons these happen. We humans get really hung up on reasons, but when you're working with a dog, you can't sit them on the couch and have them tell you their problems, right? So we have to go with actually what they do and then work with what they do and what they're comfortable with and do a process through there. So let me go ahead and get over here. And I should mention also, I've started an online 5-week class where we actually are working on all the exercises that help you, one, desensitize your dog, and B, manage your dog beautifully. So it's called Click to Calm, and it's very, very effective. Okay, so let me find this thing in here. There it is. Okay. And there it is. Okay. And the screen sharing ribbon always cuts out a lot of my controls. Okay, so what I'm going to do is find the slideshow part. Let's go to the slideshow, people. Okay, yes. So here we are. Where did it go? Here it is. Okay. I have a very touchy laptop. It's just you get close to something and it clicks on it. Oh, here is probably Suzanne, right? Go ahead and get her in because we have Nathaniel. Hi, is this Suzanne? And with Puck?
It is Nate Cartmill, and I'm trying to get off the iPhone and onto the,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You're Nathaniel?
How do I leave this? Huh.
Right. Okay. You have Puck, right? Puck, your dog? Okay. Well, all right. So we just kind of looked at everybady's dogs, 3 dogs that we're concerned with in this, and we're just going to go through some of the the basis for what dogs do. But I guarantee you what they're doing is normal behavior, okay? So what are they trying to do? They're trying to control their environment. So this solves the mystery for us of why my dog is okay off leash. Why? They can create distance. They can get out of the way. They don't have other dogs stretching toward them and looking crazy on the end of a leash. They can use normal, natural body language when they're off leash. And all of these dogs that we have tonight are off leash. I mean, they're okay for the most part. So what we want them to do is on leash, we want to empower them to control their environments in ways that are acceptable to us and easy for us to handle, and we don't have our dogs going at other dogs out on the street, which is not pleasant for us. I know that. And I have one. Okay, not my first one. So one, components or the characteristics of our hypervigilance. Okay, this nervous system is, and in the case of say Puck, maybe not trying to protect himself as much as just responding with arousal. Okay, I just want to get ready to go. Okay, but dogs that are more worried about other dogs when they're on leash have a tendency to constantly scan the environment. You don't even see them doing it, but they're just always a bit on edge, just looking around, looking for trouble. Okay, maybe escape routes. And one of the things we're going to look at tonight is ways to give your dog escape routes so that they know that you're taking care of the problem and they don't have to. Some dogs startle really easily as well, not all of them. So
I can't hear a thing.
Well, I mean, how long has it been going on?
It's 10 minutes,
everybody
15
hear-
minutes.
can
but
everybody hear
I'm on
me?
the computer now, and I can't hear anything.
okay,
I can hear you fine.
okay.
Yeah.
So let me.
I don't
Yeah,
understand.
okay.
Audio settings.
Okay.
And I don't have the link or anything.
I sent you the link as an email. You gotta check your fucking emails.
She knows
Okay.
what the-
It was, but I can't, well, I can't get any volume here.
me see if I can find how to. I can't get the chat up from here in this, or can I? Yes, I can. Okay. So, hi. Yes. Yeah. I'm hoping you can pick up the chat. Okay. Right. We'll go from there. Okay. So when we're looking at these behaviors, you can break this arousal sequence into 3 parts, and this helps you identify the parts. And I'll tell you, one thing that will really help you learn when to intervene with your dog, which we'll be going into, is to get video of your dog, what your dog looks like walking down the street and then seeing another dog and doing the reaction. Okay. Oh, one more thing we can do. Turn on captions. Okay. There. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'll break it down into lock, load, and launch. So Jessica described it very well. Her dog sees something, you get that focus, that laser focus. And what happens if you watch carefully, your dog stiffens up and the body lines up. Their body's not soft and goofy, it's lining up, nose to tail. Okay. And all this happens very quickly, so it looks like it happens at once. Load means your dog's getting ready to start the barking or the lunging or the trying to forge forward. Okay. And then launch is when they actually do it. So I was going back. Anyway, get video of this. And YouTube, I don't know what other platforms have it, but YouTube has a way to play it back quarter speed. And if you play back this video at 1/4 of the speed, then you can absolutely see these different parts of the behavior happening. And you can see all the little things your dog does in preparation. You know, this behavior didn't start just out of the blue. It's something dogs rehearse over a lifetime, you know, and they learn something that works. And dogs on leash, here's one of the things that works. And I know we'll repeat this a couple of times as we go along. Among the things that work for your dog, there you go. Somebody coming back in. The things that work for your dog, okay, are they react and they do this behavior. They call it a defensive display. Okay, it's a display. I'm big, go away. Or hey, come here, trying to play. They usually get low, you know, move around a little bit. Okay, so they do this behavior, trying to invite the other dog or make them go away. And what happens? They very often get their way because dogs on leash, they're going to go away anyway. They're just passing by, but your dog doesn't know that. So your dog puts it together. They connect their behavior to the dog going away. And they go, oh, I got that. Absolutely. Now I'm going to do that again and the dog won't bother me. I don't know how often your happy, excited dog actually gets to meet other dogs on leash, but not a good idea, or for any of them for that matter. But it's not a good idea because then your dog learns that they exhibit this excited behavior and then they get to go visit the other dogs. So those are things that you got to take into consideration. But remember that sequence: lock, load, and launch, because if you can identify those parts of your dog's arousal sequence, you'll be able to intervene in an effective way. Where would it go? It wants to There we go, okay. Some dogs are born that way, some dogs are just amped up all the time more than others. Leashes are a big problem. Leashes don't appear in nature, okay? And other things that drive this behavior, like cats and squirrels, probably predatory drives. It's a different behavior than what they do when they react to other dogs or people, for that matter, because those are more social. Cats, squirrels, and other small critters, that's predatory. Okay, but anyway, this aggressive display works, and it controls the situation for the dog. Okay, so what is aggression? Well, we don't know because it's too broad. So,
My microphone isn't working.
right. So I
Okay,
have,
hold on here.
attended the most wonderful seminar with a
I'll just listen. I'll just stand and back and listen.
world famous biologist.
Well, hold on here. I have
Said,
to
"Don't
consider.
even talk to trainers about aggression because it's so undefined." But really, what it is,
I need to,
and
um,
yeah. So actually, yeah, I think it is Nathaniel. Could you mute if you're going to have another conversation, because we can hear you? Okay. Yes. All right. So aggression is
What a-
simply for us.
it ought to be coming up. I just turned Bluetooth off.
An unwanted
Not to
activity.
barely.
You should just listen to it. You make it so you can hear it. I mean, at least if somebody.
Well, she's recording it. I think we just,
I think we
Are you
explain.
asking a question?
I can't,
At
you know,
least send her a text and say,
but she knows. She said, turn your,
You can turn on the mute yourself and turn on the captions.
yeah, I can't. It's not working for whatever reason.
Okay, because we can.
It's very hard to hear. Maybe what I'll do is, you're recording this, and maybe what I'll do is, if we have access to the recording, we can
Yes,
come
I
back and
am
listen to it.
recording it.
Yeah, okay. I think that's the best way for us to do this, because it's really, we can't hear. All
Okay,
right, well, thank you anyway, and we'll look forward to the recording.
okay,
who are you gonna be talking to?
Yeah,
okay. So anyway,
Okay.
unwanted agonistic behavior. So what is arousal? Fight, flight, freeze, preparation. Some arousal is good. When I do sports with my dogs,
okay.
agility, tracking, sit work, I want my dogs revved up and happy and wanting to do it. But they also have to still be in what we call the front brain. They still have to be in a way that they can respond to my signals, my body language, my voice. Okay. So when dogs go so far, what we call over threshold, um, when they go so far over threshold, they can't hear us. They can't respond to us at all. So part of our job is to keep them, happy, and we want them excited about things, but able to respond to us at the same time. Okay. So arousal is an emotional state. It's related to anxiety, attention, agitation, stress, and motivation. So motivation stress is really good, but some dogs are anxious and some dogs are stressed. So you have to understand that, and then you were going to start working with distance. Okay. So here we have, dogs that are, I don't think Eli mentioned this, dogs that are able to look out windows, which mine is doing right now at something out on the street, and bark at it and whatever. They're rehearsing that behavior. And it's really important to try and prevent it, or to create some different behaviors they can do, like be able to call them back. Maybe when you're not there, block them away from places where there are windows and doors that cause them to become aroused. But you want to be able to call away, which I'm going to do. May, come on. Okay. So she was up on a cabinet looking out a window. Good girl. So you want to be able to do that. All right. So what happens is this is not interrupted. And we don't know. So many of these dogs that come from some other home where we weren't, and they come with this. So we don't know exactly how much reinforcement they've had for it, but we want to stop them from getting reinforcement for that behavior on as many levels as we can. Okay. All right. So anyway, when they're amped up, which is called arousal, they do what is normal, which is lunging, vocalizing, or biting. May off, May off. Okay. I'm sorry. I am preventing my dog from looking out the window at some other dog out there. Okay. Oops. Here we go. Good. I think Eli's coming back in.
No, I just had a question.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. There you
So
go.
when yeah, lately what we've been doing is to try to intervene. We just like, but when he's starting to bark or like get in the arousal state, then we offer him a really high value treat, which in his case is a piece of salami or prosciutto. And then sometimes he will just like be distracted by that until like the other dog passes by. And then, but we don't know if that's a success. Like lately we did that and we just like let him sniff the salami and then waited for the other dog to go away. And of course he didn't bark at all, but it's because he was distracted. So is that like an effective intervention? Or is that like,
Well, I think, it's a good strategy. I think your timing is off. So what you really want to do is do actual training exercises around the door and window for calling him off to get the cookie. All right. And you want to do that with no stimulus out there. So that way you intervene before he gets amped up and starts barking. Okay. And that's how you keep him in that front brain, more rational way of being so he can respond to you. So, I do exercises like go get your toy. So I go to the door, I knock on the door, go get your toy. I throw a toy in the other direction. I do that 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Okay. And maybe do it twice a day. Then that would be training session for giving an alternate behavior. So you want to do more than just distract your dog. You want to actually create a new behavior. So even if he's just looking out the window, you can get 3 or 4 pieces of salami and maybe have some special word you use, like out. Okay, like Puck, out. He gets the bologna or whatever. He goes back. You call him boy again. Out. He comes back, gets the cookie, goes back, call him boy. Out. Right. So now he learns he's at the window. You don't want him hanging out there, right? So you go out and he starts to come away from the window. So that's creating a new behavior instead of working with a distraction. But okay, that's good. So anyway, this is how it gets started with this uninterruption, but it gets maintained actually through not being interrupted and not having alternative behaviors to do. So I'm just going to go on from here.
I see. So we don't want him to be around the window at all, even if he's just looking,
Well,
we should just.
you want to train so you can call him away from the window when you want to.
I see, but it's okay for him to just be there, like just some of the time if he just look.
Yeah, but if things start getting excited, he needs to be taken away from it.
Yeah,
But
because
if
he
you
can
train
sense when the dog is coming
Yeah.
before we know.
when
Yeah.
when you're training around it, you want to prevent him from going near that window or door when you're not there. So as much as possible, prevent him from rehearsing that barking, lunging behavior. Okay.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. And so reactive dog, they just react what we call out of proportion to the situation. Their thinking may be that they need to do this, right? So sometimes dogs are just, genetically programmed to respond in a certain way. Herding dogs in particular, and minus super duper herding dog, border collie, cattle dog mix. Okay. And, you know, all she wants to do in the whole world is stop movement. Movement is a big trigger for a lot of dogs, and herding dogs in particular. It's moving. Sit down, shop. German shepherds, Jessica. Oh my God. It's like, everybody stop that. The playground police, it's like, don't do that. They're just, they just have to stop movement because it's in their DNA, it's in their brain already. Yeah, if the sheep are moving, you have to stop them. Then you have to move them. Then if one gets out of control, you have to stop that one. So that's sort of bred into them. So you can count on a certain amount of movement triggers with with uh, herding dogs. But others too, same thing, they get turned on by movement, one reason or another. Okay. So we have something, people kind of see this behavior in an isolated way, but so many little things started up. And this is an example of a dog who had been very recently adopted. The owner didn't know her very well, had her off leash with a bunch of small dogs, and everything looked okay, she thought. And later, she attacked and really injured a small dog. So this is just a little body language study to see if you can see this dog's stress movements and stress signals. Okay. And
Oh, sorry. Can I ask?
Just a second. Let me turn on the share of the computer sound. Okay. What?
I'm not, I see, like, I've seen the share the screen and I see the train the bay, dogs reacting online, but that screen has not changed for me. Is that true for you, Eli?
Yeah, I just see, I don't know if you put the video up, but you might have to switch the tab that you're sharing for us to see the video.
Oh, it says your screen sharing is paused. I don't know why that happened. Okay.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
it pause? Okay. When did it pause? Well, it's not telling me. I want to unpause it.
Maybe just unshare and then share it again.
Yeah, unshare and share again. There we go. Okay. Good. Thank you for the tip. Okay, now it says I'm screen
There you
sharing.
go.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
It has a
Yeah.
startup. Okay, I'm sorry you
Yeah.
didn't see the other slides. I had
Thank
no
you.
idea that was happening. Okay, so here we go. We're going to see if we can identify this dog's stress signaling. And see if we can think of
What a cute little brood.
Ah, thank you. Good boy, Marley. Hey, whoop, good boy, Marley.
I always say when I'm an old lady, I'm going to have like 10 little dogs following me around.
Well, I'm an old lady, so
You're not. I mean really old.
7'7".
Oh, really? Doing good, girl. Don't tell people that.
Why? I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I know, that's right. Oh, what a good doggy. Oh, what a good little dog. How come this dog is being so cute?
Because he's shaking.
Oh, he's so cute.
I call him Buddha Belly because everybody gives him a treat. Oh, that's so cute. You deserve a treat.
It's really cute.
And it's his own trick. He taught himself.
He's a very smart dog.
Yes, he is. Come on, baby. He'd be a good circus dog if I was good enough about training.
Yeah, he would, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, you had a whole bunch of little dogs, little male dogs that were posturing and all sorts of things. So can you see some of the things that showed you that this dog was stressed?
Wait, which one is it? Is it the brown dog?
The brown dog, yeah.
It was, the video was a little bit, it wasn't smooth. It was hard to see, but the other dog was sniffing his butt, the white dog.
Yeah. Yeah, but through there, what you can see is that her body wasn't loose. Okay. Her body was very stiff. Her tail was stiff, even though it looked like she was wagging. And she did acknowledge the small dogs by sniffing them, but she spent a good portion of her time sniffing the ground. And that's usually what we call a displacement or coping behavior. So uh, the dog was nervous. And, you know, what could her owner do? Her owner could have gone, okay, you're a little nervous here. Let's just go on by. I wouldn't have let a dog I didn't know linger that much with a bunch of other dogs. So anyway, that's that, right? Okay. So the potential for aggression or excitement, meeting a new animal, okay? Always when you do, if you do unleash meetings, which you should not be doing, um, you know, things can erupt very fast on meeting new dogs. Um, Dogs get, especially as they mature, they get much more picky about, much more, much more selective about who they want to be around. Um, I'm sure none of you are using punishment type controls. Um, Encountering strangers, okay? Your dog doesn't know things. Dogs really do need time to scope out a situation. I mean, some dogs will just go right up, but other dogs, you have to really watch your dog's body language and their face, their eyes, to be sure that they're comfortable and relaxed in a situation. Knowing when your dog is relaxed, being able to recognize that is really, really important, and don't take it for granted. And of course, if you take treats to the dog park and you only treat your own dog, you're asking for trouble. Okay, so here are some of the tools we use to assist behavior change. All right. One, it doesn't sound like your dogs are out to bite anybody else, but it never hurts to muzzle train them. The recommended muzzle is the Baskerville Ultra over here on the left. You guys are seeing the slides now, right?
Yeah, we can see it.
Good. Okay. And if you've got a really, really big pulley dog, head collars can be a real blessing until you get your alternative behaviors underway. I just ordered a calming cap for mine because she really reacts very fast and sometimes way before I see a dog. So I'm going to work with her in a calming cap. You have to spend about a week getting your dog to tolerate them, so that and especially for her to wear it in the car, because she starts getting amped up in the car. So if I blur, and you can, these are translucent, they're not completely blinding. If you blur the dog's visual stimulation, you often can calm the dog down in the long term without it. So I'm going to be working with that with mine. Okay. So a front attach harness will also help give you leverage. There are a couple of them over here. This is called an easy walk, and it just has a single band with a strip in the front. And over here is the Pet Safe, which is what we call a non-restrictive. So this blocks your dog's front movement very much. This doesn't, but it does have a front attach, and it's a little bit less effective than the front attach harness. Okay. All right.
I have to say, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
When I got my dog from the rescue, he came with a like a slip leash, or yeah, slip leash, I guess it's called. Because when we walked him together, they did like a trick with it, and they made it into a gentle leader type thing. And I tried to do the same thing, and he was able to get it off. So we were
Yes, that's we call that it's a leash muzzle.
yeah. I
Right.
do it right.
Yes.
And so I
And
continue.
that's good for emergencies, but yes,
Yeah.
dogs can get out of them. So,
Yeah. And so I
a
probably use it. Oh, sorry.
hand collar, like a Halti or a gentle leader.
Well, I continued using just as a regular slip collar, and he started to pull more and more and more, and it seemed like over about 3 weeks he was getting harder to walk. And in the last couple of weeks I changed it to a front attached harness, and it's been night and day. Like he is a lot easier. I mean, he's still reactive, but like he's not, I feel like he's not stressed the entire walk. So I feel like that's been super effective.
Good. Okay, so if that's something that works for you, that's really good. Okay. Again, the halty can also work. And here are, if you have a leash with clips on both ends, it's called a service lead. You can hook it up two ways. You have a back attach, and then you hook up to something on the front end, like the collar, but you have sort of control on two parts of the dog's body, which is really nice with really big dogs. And you can alternate pressure on the leashes. So if he puts pressure on the head, you can release that and make the pressure on the back. So, and it balances the dogs a lot better. So this, the two points of control with large dogs is real blessing if you try that, okay? And then, of course, except for the dog park, you need to carry high value, delicious food with you if you're going to start desensitizing and rehabbing this behavior. Because one of the main things we want to do is have our dogs learn to see a stimulus, a trigger, and turn to us. Okay. And you got to have high value food. I've got chicken nuggets, by the way, the frozen ones that you buy. You can bake them down to practically nothing, to where they're really dry, and cut them in pieces. Dogs love them. They've got that breading on them. They've got oil, so they're really good. Chicken, cheese, frozen meatballs also can be super high value. Okay, you have to cut them in like eighths. Okay, so handling our conflicts. Okay, equipment is very important. Is your equipment secure? Are you able to actually move your dog with your equipment? Ultimately, you don't want to move your dog with your equipment. You want to move your dog with your voice and with your body language, right? But can you take up your leash really fast and keep your dog close to you? Can you get out of the way in an emergency when you need to? Can you get out behind cars? Can you go behind a hedge? Can you go up a driveway? Can you get your dog at a distance from the trigger? So we're going to look at next emergency U-turns, 2 or 3 ways to do that. One of the happiest things that I do is called Find It. Okay, in fact, it's a pretty common protocol that we use. You start by teaching your dog find it. Toss a treat on the ground, find it. Ultimately, toss 3 or 4 treats. Once they really want to search for it, you start tossing the treats where they can't see them and they have to search. And you're going to toss 5 or 6 treats away from the direction. Once they know find it, toss 5 or 6 treats away from the direction of the trigger. Your dog's got their head down. Remember that behavior of sniffing the ground? Well, it's a calming signal to other dogs. If one dog's got his back turned with his head down, another dog's less likely to react to him or stare at him or jump up and down and be excited. So the Find It is a really, really cool thing to do with your dog. So, and then there are a couple of different ways to do your emergency U-turns, which are going to come up in videos. Okay. I'm glad I found out you weren't seeing the videos because of how you can. Oops, wrong. I need to go back up. I always skip one. Here we go. 1. Yeah. Okay. This I made in 2020 and called it social distancing your dog. But what it basically is slow motion teaching your dog to do a turnaround with you. Okay. So this is a slow motion version. I have a bunch of introductory stuff. So I'm just working out. Hi. On working on how to distance your dog and get your dog to like it and not do a whole lot of tugging and pulling. We're going to teach the hey, hey routine. And to help you do that, I have my trusty dog Solo here. Hi Solo, how are you doing? And my trusty dog Solo is going to help us learn how to do the hey hey. To do the hey hey, you need treats, okay? Oh, Solo loves those. And you need your leash, and you can have your leash at any length to start with. And you're going to condition your dog or have your dog respond to hey hey. Good, okay? And for her, I'm going to throw a treat on the ground. So she's out there interested in something else. I'm going to say, hey, hey. I'm going to move away and give her the treat. I'm going to do that again. Hey, hey. Give her the treat. Okay? Now, I can be out walking my dog and I can practice 300 times because I have that many treats with me. So we're walking along. We go, hey, hey. I turn and there she goes. All right? We want to do that until your dog does, hey, hey, and turns to you automatically, okay? And notice I have a reflex to move, so that's important for you to have. So the other part of this is handling your leash effectively. So often we have our leash out here, our dog is walking ahead of us, and many of us are comfortable with that. But what if something is going on out there? We need to be able to take up that leash efficiently, hey, hey, and move, okay? And generally what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a treat out there for her. Hey, hey, take it up, move, and give a treat, okay? So there it is. My dog is out there, we're walking along, we see somebody, I say, hey, hey, I take up my leash, I move, and there it is. Okay, so what if you hold your leash like this, okay? A lot of people walk their dogs holding their leash like this. When you do this, you do your hey, hey, move your hands together, move away, and there you go, okay? And for a long, long time, you'll want to give your dog a treat every... Okay, so one of the most important things to remember in this is being able to take up your leash in just a couple of movements. So often we've got hold of that leash, get my hands in here, I get hold of that leash and we're trying to reel it in and we're trying to wrap it around our hand. Being able to cleanly take it up and have your leash held so that it comes out the back of your hand, where all you have to do is move your arm backward to move your dog. If you've got your leash held like this, okay, then you're going to be moving this way. You're using your bicep, right? You want to use these muscles in your shoulder and back and your body weight to move your dog. So you want to keep that leash down low, very quiet, very nice. And I do a lot of work with leash handling because it makes a huge difference in how your dog responds. Okay, and here are a couple more ways to do these U-turns. This is when after you get it. Well, where do these go? Okay. So after you teach your dog that turn slow motion, and I call them. You can use hey hey. I often say let's go. Let's go is my keyword for hey, we're getting out of here. Okay. So here is a way to make that turn really fun. You start on a short leash, and as you signal or verbally signal, let's go, you drop the slack out of the leash and run away from your dog, okay? Go. All right, this is 2 ways to do the emergency U-turn. One, we'll just call it let's go. And one, I'm going to let my leash out and let my dog catch up with me. And the other one, I'm going to take it up to about the halfway point. So I'm going to start with the initial, the initial emergency U-turn. My dog is with me. I have a treat ready because I'm going to teach this without being around other dogs right now. Okay, ready? Come on. Let's go. As I turn, go to slack out. You can see it better in the other direction. So stay there, but all right, so you can see the dog come right up. All right. So now, again, I'm going to get my treat ready. I'm going to go, let's go. And let's go. Good. Now, a lot of times your dog will lag back if you want to praise when they're catching up with you. And it's really good because it gives your dog time to think.
The other one is you're going to turn
Again,
to your
sometimes you just
regular
have to get out of the
turn
way.
with your leash
So I'm also
short,
going to
keeping
show
your
this
hands
by keeping the
close to
leash
you. Come on,
close
let's go.
and short.
Come on.
Okay,
Okay,
being
go
able
back
to
to the
take that
ready.
leash up to the halfway point and move out of the way, really, really
Let's
important.
go. Okay. And then move quickly
And
away.
notice,
All right.
I've
Do that
taught
again
this
for you.
term.
Come on.
So my dog anticipates when I say let's go, my
Walking.
dog
Let's say
anticipates we're
something
going to
that's
turn.
distracting
We're
her.
ready.
Let's go. Come on. Good, good,
Okay,
good,
and I
good.
catch
Okay.
up.
Nice job. And that's all. That's the two ways to do an emergency U-turn.
So, those are really, really important skills for you to develop to help your dog avoid other dogs and learn to be tolerant of them. Okay. I'll be down here. Okay. So reinforcement basics you may already know, but first of all, you need to test where your dog is best able to take food from you comfortably. I know if you show them the food and you prompt them, right, then they'll come um, and they'll come and take the food. But what you want to do is just stand still with a handful of food in various environments and wait and see how long it takes your dog to come back and eat out of your hand. Okay. So the environments in which you want to work to change behavior, just being able to notice you and come and take the food is a really important, that's where you should be, where they're able to do that. So test this in a lot of environments and find out where your dog is strongest. And that will be your starting point. Okay. Reinforcement. Okay. Positive reinforcement. Reinforcement can also be negative reinforcement. It's still reinforcement. When you do this, you get to do that. All right. A lot of times, for instance, I put a treat on the ground. I hold my dog back. I wait until my dog relaxes. And then after they relax, I give them permission to go get the treat. Right. So what happens is they've got negative reinforcement because they can't get to what they want for relaxation. It works. It's very humane. Okay. So just because it has the word negative doesn't mean that it's bad. But basically, behaviors that don't get reinforced do become weaker in the dog's repertoire. Your dog, when they do these aggressive displays or what we call agonistic displays, these are instinctive behaviors. They're connected to safety and survival, and they're innate. They're always going to be there, and they're self-reinforcing, which again, I can't emphasize enough, prevent the reaction from happening. Be proactive, okay? So you can redirect and change the form of the behavior through just conditioning another behavior. So as your dog, if your dog barks to distance a person from your house, the person goes away. What if the dog sees the person, comes to you, and then goes back to the window and finds that the person is not there? You have created a behavior, come to be, that worked because it got rid of it. And so it's the same thing. The dog learns that turning away, passing by, does the same thing as the big aggressive display does. Okay. So you need to know the ABCs of behavior. Antecedent, what comes before. They see the trigger, they hear the command. Those are antecedents. They perform the behavior. Consequence. Do they get punished? Do they get something that they like? Okay. Because the consequence is what drives the behavior. So if they do a behavior and then something they don't like happens, they're less likely to do that behavior again. That's the name of the game. So what we want to do is make sure that we put a really big lot of positive reinforcement for turning to us, walking with us. We put that in the bank, and it takes practice on every day, out on every walk. Okay. Right. So this is a little example of progressive desensitization, or what we call it's counter conditioning and progressive desensitization working together. The first thing this trainer and I did this. Um, the first thing we did was spend time having our dogs learn to turn, do the turn away, and get rewarded. Okay, so this would happen over a bunch of weeks if you're working with another dog, a person and another dog for desensitization. And even if it's a dog your person, even if it's a dog in person your dog likes, you're still putting reinforcement in the bank if you practice it. So let's look the first week or so. She's only going to come out to the porch, and I'm going to take my dog up, not to just where my dog is just comfortable. Okay. So this would be the first 2, 3, 4 weeks, even depending on how fast your dog turns. Okay. That's me turning on the camera. Okay. So I'm in position. I'm way back. My dog can't see the other dog coming out. So she's going to come out to the porch just that far. You can't see her and her dog. There she is. I bring my dog up. My dog looks back at me and we turn away. Okay. The dogs stay calm the whole way. You want to really put your reinforcement into that calm behavior. They get way reinforced for the excited behavior. So now dog sees the other dog. In fact, you just saw my dog Popo, was a dog I had a while back. Um, she saw a squirrel that time, which could have been very exciting. But as I started to turn, she turned with me. Okay, and it was soft. The leash was soft the whole time. Okay, here we go. So this is the second phase. Now they're a little closer. Okay, we're working with the same. Maybe if I wasn't filming this, I might work from the other side. I might work from across the street. I might work from different angles, not just the one, but I was filming it. So now the dogs see each other. They look at us. They go back, and that's what we want to happen. The cue for looking back at you is to see the other dog. They see the trigger, they look back at you. It's a check-in. Do I need to worry about this? I say, no, you don't need to worry about that. We're going to go the other direction. Okay. And this is probably the final thing would be, you might let the dogs be. Okay. But basically that's a micro look at what should happen over a period of weeks working with desensitization and counter conditioning. Okay. So here's a little explanation of the methodologies. There. Oops. I click too much. Okay. There. Okay. So 1, extinction. Avoid triggers. Let's say you kept your dog strictly at home for 6 weeks and just worked on the alternative behaviors, turning to you, sitting, walking away, all of that. Okay. You would weaken that behavior, but if you tried to introduce the triggers back too fast, you would just recreate it. So basically, try to figure out how to avoid exposing your dogs to triggering stimuli as much as possible. And I mean, really take a look at where your regular walks are. Maybe mix up where you take your dog to walk. Okay, go different places, different schedule. Shorter walks often work. You've got to give your dog nervous system time to relax. Okay, that's mental relaxation and physical relaxation at the same time that you're starting to combine mental activities with their physical activities. And nothing could be better to work on than getting a really, really, really good recall. And that means taking your dog out on a long line to places where there aren't triggers or very few triggers, and call them repeatedly on the long line for good treats, for their ball, for whatever really, really turns them on. Okay. Get that recall going. Nice, clean cue, dog come, or a whistle, get a recall, get that happy. Because you want to be able, even when your dog's playing off leash, you want to be able to call them away. If you can't do that, you need to practice your recall, okay? So here's another, this is a lot about having people approach and getting petted, but it's also just a very good impulse control exercise that I call the be still exercise. And it really helps your dog learn to bring down arousal, okay? So here's how you teach that.
Hi, Popo, come. Popo, come. Hey, hey, come here. Come here, Popo. Hi, I'm Nancy. I'm the training manager at Berkeley Humane, and this is my dog Popo. Hi, sit, please. And we're going to work on the be still exercise today. In the be still exercise, we want our dog to accept handling from strangers. We want our dog to have good breeding behavior. And we want our dog to learn to be calm while being handled by groomers and veterinarians. So we're going to start with a single stroke. I'm going to get some treats out. I'm going to put them in one hand. And my leash hand is going to be here, but it's going to be the hand I pet with. So here, my dog can be sitting or standing. I'm going to ask her to sit. She has a little trouble with this, sit. And I'm going to say, be still. I'm going to do one stroke, and I'm going to give her a cookie. Come on, let's get over here where people can see you. Sit. Okay, she sees the cookie. One stroke, good girl, she gets a cookie. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to eventually be touching her in more places and longer before she gets the cookie, so that she learns that the reward comes when you're still and you're calm and you feel contented and happy. And that, folks, is the be still exercise. In the long run, we want our dog to be handled all over, calmly, being still, so that when the vet and the groomer need to handle them, they're just fine with it. Okay? If you do this and practice it regularly, it really is a gift that keeps on giving. And for more tips, go back to berkeleyhumane.org, train the bay, and see what we have to offer.
Okay. So they reward a correct choice on the part of your dog, and they increase your dog's impulse control. So especially meeting people, you know, it makes them much nicer meeting people, as well as learning to just be still, be touched, be calm, helps the veterinarian, the groomer. Just a nice exercise to teach. Everybody should have a dog that's able to be still. It was so nice that the vet yesterday had to work on my dog's rear end, and I had one of my dogs, and I had her do a stand and just look at some food the whole time they were messing with the rear end, and she got the treats periodically. Very happy dog to do that, okay? Very happy vet who didn't have to fight my dog down, you know, and hold her in place. So that's, you know, looking at something and getting their food, that's, or their toy, whatever makes them happy. This is counter conditioning, and it's just taking that old emotion, get out of here, or I need to see you, and put it with something new and happy that comes from you, okay? Countering that stressful feeling with a pleasant feeling of team play with you, and put you both in your happy place. Okay, along with it, what sort of tails along with counter conditioning is progressive desensitization. And this is where you're really going to watch distances at which your dog is comfortable and can respond to you and not be totally focused on the distraction, okay? So an example would be if your dog's 20, you get 20 feet from the trigger, your dog starts to, you know, show signs of getting aroused. So you start back beyond that 20 feet and you feed your dog there. Your dog sees it, you feed it, you stay right inside that dog's tolerance window. And only after the dog is able to stay consistently relaxed at that distance do you move closer, all right? So both of these are very successful. They both include Pavlovian conditioning, which is just association, and operant conditioning, which is the creation of a new behavior. So you could, a lot of people use engagement with your dogs. If you have a dog that really likes to play with you or a toy, you could use that as well. I like to start using food simply because it's easy to administer a lot of reinforcement with it. Okay. So here, before you begin, any process you begin, you need to have the animal ready to work. And we call that consent. Okay. When you're working with your dog, you need to notice if they're starting to go over threshold or to get uncomfortable. That's when you break off the session and move away from that area. So even if you have a goal, and I do this, trainers do this all the time. We have a goal for this session, right? And it's so hard not to keep working till we get to that goal. But you know, you have to look at the animal you're working with, and you have to really have respect for their limitations and be connected and in the moment with them. This is probably the most difficult part of working with dogs and other animals that are living under stress. Okay, but just be aware when you're working with your dog that, you know, there's a time to break things off and to leave that session. You can come back to that anytime. Okay, so you want to start replacing your old behaviors with new behaviors. We call those replacement behaviors. So think about this. What do I want my dog to do instead of going off? All right. Right. And you know, you can work on a lot of things. We like watch me. We like let's go turns. Play, play, play. Find it is your first go-to. You know, if you don't have anything else, make sure your dog sees that food in your hand, cast it away, and have them searching for it as another dog goes by. Really, really effective. And more than a distraction, it actually is changing the dog's emotional makeup in that moment. So you're conditioning that new emotion, right? Oh, you could be doing something else when that dog goes by, and it's, you know, works the same. Okay, so you provide a dog with new behavior, it does the same task as the old one, right? Calming signals are signals dogs do to other dogs that tell them body turnaways, sniffing the ground, you know, turning, just a lot of little things your dog does, which you may not always be able to see because very often, I think I have them on the next, the what I call cutoff signals. Over here, you know, you can't really see eye blinks when your dog's on a leash ahead or below you. You can see head turns. You can see a dog trying to turn away. You can see ground sniffing. You can see your dog shaking off to try to become, you know, natural. So anything that your dog is trying to do to soothe that situation are called calming signals. So one, you start with the look at that game at the comfort distance. Okay, dog sees the trigger. You go, I use a clicker, click, reward right then while the dog is looking at it, walk away and be happy, talk and give another treat, okay, as you walk away. So there are really two treats in that. Your dog sees it, you go, yes, good. And then the dog gets a treat and you're walking away, your dog gets another treat because your dog has turned to you. And you're also doing that food association with the sight of the other dog. Okay. So here are some stages of conditioning. The first one is exposure. In the click to calm methodology, it's called recognize. And the second one is called redirect. And the third one is called replace. So first of all, your dog gets rewarded for recognizing there's another dog out there. Okay. So dog perceives trigger, treat, walk away, happy dog, treat. Okay. Wait for choice is what you want your dog to really do is to offer either a calming signal or to look back at you. So then you're going to start rewarding your dog for actually turning and checking back in with you instead of just seeing the one. And you know, this first stage goes on for months, really. Okay, because you can't work on this every minute of your day, every moment that you're out with your dog. You have to find moments when you can work on it. Okay, but basically, when you're out on walks, you will never go wrong by doing look at that or exposure, whatever you want to call it. Look at that, and your dog sees it. You don't say anything. Your dog sees it. You say good. You turn away. Your dog gets a treat and gets another treat for walking away with you. So you want your dog to see the trigger and associate getting the treat with it is basically the bottom line there. Okay, but you know, you might only get one or two little repetitions of that and then get away. Get your dog out of sight of the situation. Okay, so last thing that we're going to cover is called body mechanics. And as you can see in this picture, this situation is completely out of control. Okay, the person is bent over, the arms are flailing out to the side, the dog is in charge here. Okay, you want to keep your body language upright and neat. Don't try to constantly bend over and try to get your dog to do something. I know, you know, like with the small dogs, you do bend over more, but try not to make it where everything your dog does, you're bending over, because you're making that part of the cue. You bend over to get your dog to come. You bend over to get your dog to sit. Get them to do the behavior before you bend over and give them the treat. Okay. So anyway, so here is a little very quick video I made to teach good body mechanics. Okay, you keep your elbows tucked in so that your basically your elbow doesn't leave your body most of the time. Okay, I like the leash when I'm walking at about the halfway point, but some of us like to walk along with the leash out the whole way. In which case, you need to be able to take up that leash quickly and to move away so you could reorient your dog back to you. Okay, and when you're teaching walking, keeping the leash a fixed length is important. So here's a little video on body mechanics. Good body mechanics for dog handling. Okay, first of all, be able to have your leash in a nice neat bundle so that even if your leash is all the way out, you can take it up very quickly and move your dog with your body. Stay upright, elbows in. I'll give you a little example. I'll throw a treat out. Hey, Solo, good girl. Okay, I didn't bend over. She gets the treat from me. Good, do it again, short leash. Hey, Solo, here. Good, call my dog back. And all this time, thank you. And all this time, I have not bent forward. There she goes again. Good girl, thank you. And that's good body mechanics. That's basic body mechanics, right? Okay, so in general, overall, it takes a while. You want to replace the old emotion, the conditioned emotional response with a new one, but also have replacement behaviors. So there are two things you're working with. You're working with an emotional state, but you're also working with a conscious training state. So social intervention is what I call, if things go wrong, just get the dog out of the situation, get that leash taken up really close to you, move away, get your dog out of sight of where your dog is not in sight of the trigger. Okay, and here are your challenges. Like I said with Eli, you know, your timing. You want to be proactive and have your dog respond before they get to the agonistic state. Okay, so that's one reason we do that. Look at that. They see it. We go good. We give them a treat. We walk away. Give them another treat. So we're starting to be proactive, and it'll develop in you. It will develop the ability to turn away quickly. So, and your dog to turn away with you without you pulling on the leash. You have to work. You have to condition new responses, daily practice, repetitions that are highly rewarded. You have to really understand your dog's trigger distance and just move them outside their trigger distance anytime you see that they're too close. And try, when you're teaching initially, especially to look at that, try to work with controlled setups. And so, for instance, I might go to outside of a Petco or a PetSmart and just do a few repetitions of my dog seeing another dog at their comfortable distance. Good. Get the treat, walk away. So I can start establishing that in a way that where my dog is not going to get out of control with it. So how long, it depends on the dog. The reinforcement history, again, how long has your dog been doing this? Were they doing it in the home they were in before you got them? No magic formula. You will be adjusting everything as you go along. So you have to be really, really be making some judgments. So because your dog is reactive, you are going to be managing some of this behavior for the entire life of the dog. So here it is. Commit to change and stick to a program. Okay, that will help. So we're going to go out there. All right. And before we go, I got my sunshine coming in. I have a shade that's broken and has to be fixed before I can pull it down. So I am in the sun here. Okay, so do you have any questions that come up?
Yeah, I have a question. So like when we're walking down the sidewalk, and we see the other dog, then because we're still in the phase of like you said, the look at that and then walk away phase, then should we like just walk away so we don't even pass by the other dog on the sidewalk, like cross the street or something?
Yeah. You could, Puck sees, not Puck, Butter sees the other dog. Good. Give a treat, walk away to the other side of the street. Yeah. That's
Okay.
a good repetition right there.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes there's like several dogs coming from different directions, so it's like hard to find a escape
Right.
route.
So, right. So if you're on a residential street where there's grass and trees and stuff like that, do your find it. First of all, teach that find it. So he really wants to look for it. And then you pull out that food and toss it away from as much away from the direction of the dogs as you can and have him searching for it. So he doesn't have to worry about the dogs. And then as soon as you can, get away from them.
Okay, that's great. And then my other question is, sometimes like we let him approach the other dog because he's not barking and they're just like being curious, but then like he will like just have a very sudden reaction. So the dogs are like sniffing each other, and then like without any warning, he'll start just like barking at that dog, and then we have to just pull him away.
Right.
So
Right. So you don't want to get he is not in a state ever where he can go meet another dog on leash. He's going to get amped up. It's just delayed a little bit with that. But
I see.
no, that's right now. You need to be walking him away, making sure he associates getting treats with the other dog approaching, walking him away and getting treats returning to you. Okay. I mean, that is one of the very least things you can do or do find it, because once you let him get up there, he's going to be able to reinforce that behavior one way or the other. Okay.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess we were just hoping that he would like get used to the other dog, but then you're right, it's just a little bit of a delayed reaction. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we all want to believe in magic.
Yeah.
But it's work. It's not magic. Okay. Do you
Okay.
have anything, Jessica?
Yeah, do you have any recommendations for dogs that will interact? Like I have I stay with my friend's family who also have a dog, and they'll also be dog sitting a little bit. And they've interacted, I'd say 4 or 5 days straight, and they're very energetic, but they're good. They seem like they're really good. My dog does amp up
Yeah.
a little bit, but then throughout the day he does relax, and then the other one's a little bit younger and will kind of try and tease him into playing.
Mm-hmm.
Is this an okay interaction? Like, is this,
Well, I would, especially if your friend's babysitting, if your friend's dog sitting for you, I would probably be really, have a way to call him away before he gets too amped up, and
Okay.
just give him breaks in play, and be sure that your friend can do that.
yeah,
Say, use food, call him away. Both dogs can come in and do a sit and get 2 or 3 treats. That is often enough to cool down.
okay,
getting the play starting to get too
amped up.
amped up. Yeah.
Okay, great,
So I
thank you.
will leave you here, and I do have this recorded when it processes that, and I'm eager to see how this AI description comes out. It may be very helpful, and it may not. So we'll see. Okay.
Great.
So thank you for attending, and we'll see you later.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much.